New at 10, 5 News is taking an in-depth look at state laws involving sex offenders. This after hearing reports about a convicted sex offender seen volunteering at a Fort Smith church around children. 5 News is not naming the man because police tell us he was not violating the law by volunteering at the church. Because of the questions raised, we're breaking down what state law allows and what it restricts. The man at the center of the concerns is registered as a level 2 sex offender. Under Arkansas law, people classified at that level are legally allowed to volunteer at churches. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach talked with police about the different levels of sex offenders and the rules they must follow.
Jay Baker, Lieutenant of Criminal Investigations for Van Buren Police, says Arkansas has 4 levels of sex offender classification, unlike other states that typically have 3.
In Arkansas, the level that's assessed is based on a face-to-face meeting with a group called SOCNA in Hot Springs. And the lower the number, the less likely to reoffend. The higher the number, the more likely to reoffend.
He says the assessment is based on multiple factors.
Number of offenses, number of victims, even down to gender of victims, criminology, other criminal history. And they go through the specifics of the cases that the suspect is now registered for, plus other criminal history.
State law says all registered offenders must sign and follow a sex offender acknowledgement form, but the restrictions vary by level. Baker says level 3 and 4 carry the most restrictions.
There are residency restrictions, there are there are work restrictions at level 3 and 4. Approximately 60% of the state's offenders are level 1 or 2. So not impacted by the bulk of restrictions that are put on sex offenders. Those include volunteering with children under the age of 16, water parks, living within 2,000 feet of a school, park, daycare center.
Baker says a level 2 sex offender is not breaking the law by volunteering at a church.
They are allowed to attend and they are allowed to volunteer. So churches would generally do background checks, and so that's incumbent upon the church, but per the statutes, they are not prohibited from volunteering. That's level 2.
Volunteering only becomes illegal at higher levels.
For level 4s, they're off limits, but for level 3s, they just can't volunteer where they will work with anyone under the age of 16.
Understanding the law is important, but Baker says he also urges parents to remain involved when it comes to their children's safety.
Parents just need to continue to know who's got access to their children and monitor that and trust their gut instincts.
In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
5 News did reach out to the church at the center of the concerns. They said they maintain volunteer screenings, and they said the individual does not serve and has not served in children's and youth ministries at the church and does not have an assigned role working with minors. They also said they maintain written child protection policies, and the safety of children is a non-negotiable priority. Tonight, it's not clear if they conducted a background check on this particular individual.